All right, guys, Chief Kirk for Cravology. This week, I really need your help. I want you to go out and I want you to find as many channels and avenues that you can to share this message to veterans. Veterans right now are really suffering. They're really hurting for good reason. And I want to remind them of how much we appreciate them, how much we appreciate their service, and how much we think about what they did for this nation and for the call of freedom. So here's the message. If you are a veteran and you're struggling right now because you're watching the events in Afghanistan unfold, and there's anger and frustration and horror at the way this is being done and the people you've left behind, I want you to understand that your service and your sacrifice was not in vain. I want to remind you that you had your own powerful reasons for serving. I never chose the honor of serving, but I understand that when someone does something that powerful, underneath there are powerful reasons. I'm a huge proponent of respecting the flag, of respecting our military forces, and thanking those who served just like you. And I want you to really think about something. I want you to understand something. Your reasons for serving have nothing to do with what a government is doing in Afghanistan right now. I know it doesn't feel that way. I know like you feel like you've been betrayed. That's obvious to anyone who's watching what's going on. This is a debacle. It's not your debacle. This is a disaster. It's not your disaster. We have power and we take control over our minds and our emotions when we recognize that the external world, like Afghanistan, doesn't have power over how we respond and how we conduct ourselves, and doesn't have power over us or the reasons that you chose to serve. It's vitally important that we make a distinction for our mental health and our emotional resilience between what's happening outside of us and what's happening inside of us. And as warriors who went and served, men and women who stood shoulder to shoulder, who defended this country and who defended freedom and who defended the man or the woman to the left and the right, those people have no responsibility for what's happening right now. And those people have to understand for their own good that their control and their power and their focus has to be on why you served. I know when you serve the way you served, that you saw things you can't unsee and you did things you can't undo. But we, the people, are with you, and we appreciate your service, and we honor your sacrifice. And that's not diminished in any way by what's happening now. I think Seneca once said, "Only the dead have seen the end of war." Now you fight a different battle. You're home. You're trying to acclimate. You're trying to make sense of it all. I want you to know that your service matters to me. I want you to know that your sacrifice is honored by me and others that I know in our community. And I want you to know that we are with you, and to understand as a coach, as someone who cares, who wants to give something to you, I want you to orient yourself around why you served. I want you to orient yourself around the power and the honor of the sacrifice that you made and the reasons you made that sacrifice. And I want you to remember there are people around you that want to help you and support you. You just have to reach out. You have to say something. And I want you to remember this. Nothing can take that away from you. Nothing can take that away from you. I know this. The people in this community that I serve know this. And we want you to know this. If you're struggling, we want you to reach out. We want you to raise your hand. Even if you're in a group of people, if you're in our community, raise your hand. We want to help you. We want to circle around you. We want to put a hand on you. We want to say, hey, We love you. We appreciate you. You did something extraordinary. And nothing someone else does or a government can do will ever take that away. Your service and your sacrifice is as powerful and as special and as meaningful today as it ever was. That's the truth. And I want you to focus on that. And if you can't grab hold of that idea, you can't hold that truth, I want you to talk to somebody until you can. We care about you. We know you're out there, but we don't know exactly who you are because you don't raise your hand. You don't have to go through this alone. If you want to talk to somebody that has served, then there are places for that. If you want to talk to somebody who's thankful for your service, there's plenty of people for that. But you cannot sit in the dark and stew. You cannot sit alone and allow the story that you're telling yourself to take hold. Because the story that you're telling yourself, that story that your sacrifice, that your service doesn't matter, that it's all being undone and unwound, it's not true. You touched people's lives. You probably saved lives. You probably had your life saved. You were there for the people around you in the toughest of circumstances. You had powerful reasons for what you did, and all that's still true. So you remember that, and you reach out and you raise your hand when you need to, right? You do that. You remember your control and your power comes from how you respond to things and how you carry yourself and how you conduct yourself. There is grace for everyone that asks for it. Nothing is too big to be forgiven, and the people around you want to help you. God bless you. God bless this country. Amen.